evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambali.
I am Jesse Ramdu.
I am Jassi Marik with sport.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight.
I am grateful to Judge Singh.
Relatives of Tara Ramsub welcome death sentence for her killer, but lament being kept from her son.
Off-duty policewoman hailed for bravery after stopping violent domestic attack.
After 1 year in office, opposition leader gives herself 6 out of 10, but government ministers give her a different rating.
In sport, after missing out on automatic qualification to the CWI Championship final, the Red Force focuses on regrouping for the semi.
Looks like May will kick off with more sunscreen weather than umbrella weather. I'll tell you all about it in the full forecast.
Tears of relief and heartbreak as relatives of Tara Ramsub say justice has finally been served. The man who brutally killed Ramsub and her baby daughter has been sentenced to hang.
Speaking with CNC3 News at her Barrackpore home today, Tara's sister Jasodra Rajaram said she cried tears of joy when she learned of the ruling. High Court Judge Nalini Singh handed down the death sentence to 33-year-old Rishi Motilal, who admitted to killing his estranged girlfriend and their child at his home on October 8, 2024. Ramsub was chopped several times and the toddler's throat was slit. Rajaram says while the family is grateful for the sentence, they remain saddened that Motilal's relatives continue to keep them away from Tara's young son.
Me and my sister and everybody, my whole family, we contended that we get justice. We contended, and to top it off, we can't even see my nephew. His sister not allowing me to see my nephew and thing. She don't want me to see him. She don't want me to have him.
Rajaram says the sentence was justice well served.
I want to say I'm real grateful and thankful to the judge, because if I could have meet she and just hug she up and say thanks very much for getting justice for my sister, which we never get like from the police or anything, I could just hold she and hug she up like I wish she was right here, you know, and hug she up and tell she thanks, because it's not easy. It torments and it traumatizes and it still lives on and on and on.
During the trial, Motilal confessed to relatives and police, but later claimed he was provoked after Ramsub told him about a new boyfriend.
Assistant DPP Dylan Martin, during cross-examination, got Motilal to admit he exaggerated those claims to support his defense, prompting the judge to find him guilty. Well, once a person is convicted of murder, the case does not end there. Attorney Prakash Ramada, who practices civil and criminal law, explains that an automatic appeal is triggered, but a notice has to be filed within 14 days, and the appeal court reviews the full proceedings to determine whether the conviction and sentence should stand. We asked Ramada to explain the death sentence process. Ramada says if a death sentence is upheld by the appeal court, the next step is an appeal to the Privy Council, the highest appellate court for TNT, and there's also the Mercy Committee, an international human rights body. Based on the Pratt and Morgan ruling, he says executions must be done within a 5-year period. And Ramada says while he was previously opposed to the death penalty, his position has now shifted.
Historically, I've been anti-death penalty, but I have to look and see what has happened to our society. And I am now leaning in favor of the full extent of the law being exercised on those who do not have any value for human life. And at the same time, however, appreciate that there must be degrees of murder, and only the most heinous of them, for instance, paid execution, should attract the penalty of death.
During a post-cabinet news conference last year, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar noted that as of May 10, 2025, there were 38 inmates on death row. 18 fall within the timeline established by the Privy Council in the Pratt and Morgan ruling, but they still had appeals pending.
The last executions in this country occurred in 1999 when drug kingpin Dole Chedi and 8 members of his gang were hanged for the 1994 murders of the Babulal family. That year, Anthony Briggs was also executed for the murder of a taxi driver during a robbery.
A penile man who admitted to chopping his brother to death after he assaulted their elderly mother has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Avalon Thompson was initially charged with murdering his brother Paul Tilak in 2017, but he was recently allowed to plead guilty to manslaughter by provocation under a plea deal negotiated by the Public Defender's Department. Thompson became enraged after his brother Tilak returned home drunk and assaulted their mother. Justice Tricia Hudlin Cooper began with a 20-year sentence, then applied a 1/3 discount for his guilty plea and further reductions for mitigating factors. Given how much time was spent on remand, Thompson is expected to be released in just over a year.
A man is shot dead in front of his son at the Queen's Park, Savannah. The victim has been identified as 49-year-old Masood Prosper from Belmont. Reports indicate he was shot multiple times around 5:30 while sitting in a black Lancer car parked near the food court. Relatives say Prosper had gone to pick up his 9-year-old son from football practice when the shooting occurred. The child is reported to have witnessed the attack. Despite the incident, some people continued their exercise routines while food vendors kept operating as normal. A woman police officer is being praised for her bravery after intervening in a violent domestic attack in Derby.
Ignoring the danger to herself, Police Constable Darlene Wren stepped between a man and the woman he was beating. A split-second decision she believes may have saved the woman's life. Wren, who is attached to the Special Victims Unit, was off-duty and unarmed. She tells us she was in her apartment in Derby on Monday night when another tenant alerted her to the incident. She heard screams and saw the victim being dragged violently along the ground. Wren immediately intervened, but despite identifying herself as a police officer, the man refused to stop. The victim managed to break free and ran behind the officer, who was also assaulted as she tried to protect the victim. Both women eventually rushed into Wren's apartment and locked the door, but the man tried to force his way inside. By the time police arrived, the suspect had fled. Wren is now encouraging others not to ignore domestic violence and abusive situations.
If we could stand by and watch a woman being abused, beat up, study that you have a mother, study that you have a daughter, would you put yourself in that position? Would you like that to happen to them when you could do something? Why it is we always have to draw caution tape? Why it is we always have to call the police the aftermath when the thing don't happen? Report, call somebody, tell somebody.
Both women were treated at the San Fernando General Hospital for bruises. Wren joined the service in 2011 and 4 years later began working in the Child Protection Unit, which is now part of the Special Victims Unit. Acting head of the Municipal Police Service says he intends to increase the complement of officers in each municipality to 100 as part of rapid intervention measures in the Southern Division. Assistant Police Commissioner Wayne Meister told CNC3 News the move is aimed at strengthening operations and stabilizing the force. Meister confirmed psychosocial support is being provided to officers traumatized by the April 19th murder of Corporal Anushka Eversley. He said colleagues were devastated, with some submitting sick leave and others reporting for duty but unable to function as expected. An executive decision has also seen Senior Superintendent Wayne Mohammed temporarily reassigned to the Southern Division. The 42-year-old mother of 3 was found dead inside the San Fernando Municipal Police Station at King's Wharf, where the armory was discovered empty.
Days after his appointment to the head of the municipal police, ACP Wayne Meister is getting the full endorsement of the police service executive through its media ambassador, ASP Owie Russell. On the Morning Brew program today, Russell congratulated Meister on behalf of the executive and the Police Social and Welfare Association. Meister was appointed after ACP Thorindra Sagram Singh was sent on administrative leave following the murder of acting Corporal Anushka Eversley and the theft of over 100 guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Russell says Meister's appointment is backed by the police executive, given his wealth of knowledge and experience in the TTPS.
He has the experience. He having worked in the police academy and other places, being a division commander and stuff like that. We know he has a wealth of experience, and he would go there and he would marry the principles of the TTPS, tweak it to suit what is there at the municipal police teams.
Now, Russell also addressed the recent incident where thousands of dollars were stolen from Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, David Nackett. He advised customers to always remain vigilant and, as much as possible, engage in cashless activities.
Now, we wish to correct a statement in last night's newscast. A report indicated that guns went missing from the San Fernando Mayor's office.
We wish to state that the firearms were reported missing from the San Fernando Municipal Police Post at the San Fernando City Corporation compound and not the mayor's office. The error is regretted.
Well, still to come in the news, despite nurses' continued work to rule action, NCRHA chairman insists there's been no impact on patient care.
Nurses to boycott May Day March, citing stagnant wages and rising living costs.
Coming up in sport, TNT swimmers Carter and Carrington finish down the field at the Speedo Open.
Can you do this?
Welcome back. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has rated her own performance a 6 out of 10, double the score she gave Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
During her State of the Republic address at City Hall last night, Beckles criticized the government for lacking a substantive crime plan beyond states of emergency, raising taxes and fines, and damaging ties with CARICOM.
She later told CNC3 News she graded the Prime Minister's governance a 3 out of 10 while defending her score for the PNM.
And how would you rate the opposition's year in office so far?
I would give us a 6. Yes, we still have a lot of work to do.
But the government pushed back. Land and Legal Affairs Minister Saddam Hussein said Beckles was being generous. Energy Minister Dr. Rura Munilal rated her a negative 6 out of 10. And Local Government Minister Khadija Amin called Beckles a joke. Meanwhile, political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed said he believes a fair score of Beckles' performance as opposition leader would be a 5 out of 10, as opposed to the 8 out of 10 rating he gave to Persad-Bissessar. Well, based on that story, today we ask, how do you rate the performance of the opposition leader over the last year?
Here's what you had to say.
Well, I said that they're trying their best. And, I mean, nobody is perfect. Everybody not 100% perfect, but I mean, they're still trying their best.
I can't give an exact grade because I haven't really seen much done by the opposition. So I'll more or less balance it and I'll say a 5. Right, because as I said, it was just like actual debates between both parties, so can't exactly give an actual score.
As a concerned citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I would most definitely say that the position and stance of the opposition within the past year has been somewhat talking to a dead person. The opposition is not opposing.
I think they get, once given the opportunity, anybody can do better, and the opposition should do better, knowing that they are really the original party of Trinidad and Tobago. That's what I will have to say about that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate a solid 4. And the reason that I gave that score is simply because they spent a lot of time really, dwelling on the past and not moving the country forward, as opposed to looking for the best interests of the citizens as much as looking after their own interests.
I will give the whole opposition a 10 because they are really trying to get back to what the party was and to build it back up to that integrity that Patrick Manning had left it at. And yeah, they are trying and they are getting there, so I will give them a 10.
For yet another PNM event, former political leader Dr. Keith Rowley was a no-show. Last night's event at City Hall drew hundreds of supporters and party members. Among them were MPs such as Stuart Young, who sat at the back of the hall away from other MPs and senators. But Dr. Rowley, one of the party's longest-serving members who led the PNM into 2 terms in government, was not in attendance. Asked about his absence, Beckles confirmed he had been invited. She also used the platform to sharply criticize the Prime Minister's governance over the past year.
In a rare appearance in the public, very rare appearance, the Prime Minister engaged in her new style of governance. The fake facade of being a caring leader. And you remember that style in 2010. That is gone and has been replaced with a violent, belligerent rhetoric and manic utterances.
And the Prime Minister wasn't the only one who came under fire, but some of her ministers, including Public Utilities Minister Bravery and the Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Alexander.
The nauseating actions of Bravery, who seems to take gleeful delight in the firing of thousands of workers over the last year, with many reduced to poverty and desperation while he performs on the stage. Give them performance. In an event where a ticket costs about $6,000. And of course, the one who feels everybody afraid him. The irrational rantings and vulgarity of Philip Alexander, who is now best known as the subject of summons to court and paternity tests.
However, Public Utilities Minister Bravery says the opposition leader's State of the Republic speech should have been called the State of the PNM. He argues that the opposition offered no blueprint for the future, only a red print to drag the country backwards. He says that the center of a plan is the resurrection of CPEP, a program long criticized for political patronage. Padarat says reinstating it would only benefit PNM friends and financiers. He contrasted that with what he says are government's investments in digital transformation, laptops for students, and future-ready industries. Padarat also pointed to what he described as unresolved issues within her own ranks.
As pressure mounts over the future of embattled PNM Senator Janelle John Bates, 2 political analysts are offering different prescriptions for the opposition leader. The controversy intensified yesterday when a parliamentary committee was abruptly suspended, with reports indicating objections to John Bates's presence. Sources say committee member Dr. Rudal Munilal raised concerns tied to her conduct during a prior sitting, which examined the state's acquisition of pharmaceuticals. Political analyst Dr. Winford James is urging restraint, arguing that John Bates should not be cast aside.
Once she is contrite, I think Penny and the rest of them should give her a chance, a second chance, right? It's not as if she's the most experienced party official. Others have made greater mistakes. And once she's contrite of spirit, I think she should be retained.
However, Dr. Shade Mohammed is taking a more hardline position, describing the issue as a serious ethical breach that cannot be easily overlooked. According to Dr. Mohammed, the situation also presents a critical leadership test for Beckles. CNC3 News is awaiting a response from Penelope Beckles as to whether any decision was taken to remove John Bates from the Senate.
As nurses continue their total nursing mandate to care for up to 6 patients each, North Central Regional Health Authority Chairman Dr. Tim Gopi Singh says reinforcements are on the way.
He told CNC3 News today that 50 new nurses will soon be added to staff. This comes after 60 were hired within the past 2 months, even as overtime rates were cut at the RHA.
Gopi Singh says the move is aimed at easing the burden on healthcare workers and improving patient care across the region. Jensen Avend and Crystal James have more in this report.
Amidst claims from the president of the Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association, Edie Stewart, of severe staff shortage here at the North Central Regional Health Authority, its chairman, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, tells CNC3 News that soon 50 new nurses will be added to staff. He says this problem predates him.
The assurance of increased staff comes as nurses are currently engaged in a work-to-rule dubbed total nursing, which NCRHA Chairman Dr. Tim Gopi Singh says has had a unique effect since it began on Tuesday.
We have a better turnout of nurses. We previously would have probably an absenteeism of about 12 to 15%. Now we have an absenteeism of about 8%. So we have about a 92% attendance by the nurses. In fact, we congratulate and compliment and thank all the nursing professionals who have come out to give their tremendous service, despite what is being spoken about by the TTRNA president.
The Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association President Edie Stewart tells CNC3 News that the inpatient psychiatric unit was transferred without proper consultation with staff. However, Dr. Gopi Singh says this was done to maximize space at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex to accommodate more patients.
We have now transferred psychiatry with 25 beds to the Arima Hospital, which was designated for psychiatry, and that remained untouched for 5 years by the last administration. Also, the accident and emergency was never used over the last 5 years.
The chairman adds that after 51 years in healthcare, he has learned a lot from nurses, and any comment that he does not care for them is untrue. He adds that soon he will reintroduce specialized training for nurses. Jensen Lavend, CNC3 News.
While nursing industrial action continues to affect services at some public health institutions, operations at the San Fernando General Hospital continue as normal.
Relatives visiting patients say they have seen the usual presence of nurses on the wards and no major disruption to care. Some acknowledge that staffing levels may be slightly reduced, but say patient attention has not been compromised. The situation offers a contrast to reported disruptions at other facilities across the country. At least one relative described the level of care as consistent despite the ongoing action.
The care that my husband is receiving is second to none. He's been given the attention that he needs. He's been taken care of. I would have noticed, however, that there is a somewhat smaller number of nurses on the ward. But from what I would have observed from yesterday to now, that has not hindered the care that they are given to the patients under their charge.
Elsewhere, the industrial action has led to scaled-down services and delays at some facilities.
The Nursing Association has warned of escalating action to press for improved wages and working conditions. The Southwest Regional Health Authority referred questions on the issue to Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo. However, efforts to contact the minister were unsuccessful.
The Trinidad and Tobago Nurses Association says it will not take part in this year's May Day March, citing stagnant wages for RHA workers and rising living costs.
The parade, organized by the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, is set for May 1st, moving from the union's San Fernando headquarters to Harris Promenade, where leaders will address supporters. Association President Edie Stewart says the decision to stay away reflects growing frustration among healthcare workers.
All right, well, still to come in the news, Caribbean Airlines to restrict power banks on board, banning in-flight charging under new safety rules.
We've got picture-perfect conditions to be at the beaches, but you still have to exercise caution. Details after the break.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Love the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa McCall.
KC Ginger Mint, your trusted and natural wellness. Now with more healthier options. KC Ginger Mint with honey and lime, KC Ginger Mint with orange, and KC Ginger Mint with lemon. KC Ginger, honey, lemon, lime, and orange. Natural and trusted for generations for soothing sore throats, aid digestion, and boost immunity. Get your new KC Candy Ginger Mint Extended Range today and breathe naturally.
Broken! Ever since I started wearing hands-free Glide Step Skechers Sleep-ins, my other shoes are useless. With Skechers Sleep-ins, I just step in and they're on. Try Skechers Sleep-ins.
My man, Andre. Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo? We're like coworkers who don't forget your name.
I'm Angelo.
CG United. Good like that.
Give mom gifts to improve her health. The magnetic massage sandals massage the soles of the feet while walking, relieves pains and tiredness, ideal for those who stand long hours. Magnetic slimmer belts slims the waistline, relieves back and waist pains, menstrual pains and cramps, perfect for after pregnancy. This Mother's Day, give mom the strong magnetic cup. Special discount this Mother's Day at Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited. Hurry, limited stock. Call 653-0011.
Shop this month end at Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Gulfville. With a purchase of $500 and over, you get to choose a free case of Chubby, a bale of toilet paper, 2 cases of water, or 3 5-liter liquid detergent. Yes, you can get to choose an item for free with purchases of $500 and over. Don't miss it, happening this month end at Food Basket Marketplace in Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Gulfville. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Welcome back. Despite public concern from customers and business groups, Republic Bank is defending its decision to increase its fees.
And the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission is hitting a major milestone this week, marking 29 years as the nation's financial watchdog.
Keisha Kaulasa Alonso has the details in tonight's Business Watch.
While businesses and individual customers have voiced frustration over increased Republic Bank fees, the bank is defending its position. In a response to Business Watch, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce and Vice President of Republic Bank, Karen Yipchuk, says the adjustments reflect rising operational costs and the need to maintain a secure and modern financial system.
It is important for the public discourse to recognize that commercial banks, both globally and here in Trinidad and Tobago, are operating within an increasingly complex and costly environment.
The fee schedule as published by Republic Bank shows increased fees related to checkbooks, drafts, managers' checks, overdrafts, and late payments. Yipchuk says these tend to be associated with manual paper-based or higher-risk services. She noted that for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, higher transaction costs, overdraft charges, and penalty fees can significantly affect cash flows, particularly in a challenging economic climate. However, Yipchok says all fee increases can be managed.
The fees as published can be managed, avoided, or reduced by customers choosing electronic and digital channels.
Meanwhile, Republic Financial Holdings Limited announced on Thursday that for the first half of the 2026 financial year, the group recorded $1.07 billion in profits, an increase of $54 million. In other business news, as the Trinidad and Tobago Securities Exchange Commission gears up to mark its 29th anniversary on Saturday, its chief executive officer speaks about how it regulates the market. According to CEO Kester Guy, the Commission has moved away from strict rule-based regulation.
So we've moved from a rules-based framework to a risk-based framework, and we are focused on modernizing our operations. At the heart of it is about people. People, or investors.
At the same time, the Commission has strengthened its expectations for market conduct, ensuring that firms and professionals operating within the capital market adhere to higher standards of ethical behavior. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices. Geisha Kaulesa Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
Now time for the weather forecast with Sikoni. And yesterday you said, listen, brace for the heat, the sun, and some dust.
That's right.
I was outside today and I found a trick, just walk in the shadows of the buildings. And you can probably hide shadows from the sun. Yeah, if you could fit. Yeah.
If you could fit in the shadows. That's a good one.
Some of them are very tiny and I had to crouch in. But
you can still have an umbrella on hand and shade. Yeah.
But umbrellas are not good for sidewalks.
That is also quite right. But hey, guess what, Ria? You can brace for more of that tomorrow, because that is what we have in the forecast. We are looking out for more heated conditions across Trinidad and Tobago. If we take a look at what's happening out there, it's quite a stable atmosphere over the islands at this time. Saharan dust haze moving in. We have slight to moderate concentrations of that, so that tickle in your throats and that itchy, scratchy feeling you may be getting, that's from the dust haze concentrations that's present in the atmosphere. So if you have that sensitivity toward the change in what's happening there, take the necessary precautions, relievers, inhalers on hand, protect yourself where the dust haze is concerned. And for everybody else who doesn't suffer with that, look out for the heat, because we're in for more of that into tomorrow's forecast. But it begins from this evening, because after all that hot, steamy weather today, this evening we're looking out for cooler conditions. And by cool, I mean temperatures dropping down to 23 degrees Celsius for Trinidad, still hitting the mid-20s for Tobago, but in a few areas you may just be pulling the covers into midnight, but losing it into the early morning period, because even though it's mainly clear right now, a couple of areas will see some partly cloudy pockets developing into the pre-dawn period, especially for those of you in Tobago, where an early morning shower is expected, but the wind factor, not enough to keep you cool, unfortunately. That wind is very gentle at this time, and that is going to contribute to helping with daytime heating. We could see some cloudy buildups into tomorrow's forecast, and where that is happening, possibly a quick passing shower along those hilly areas of Trinidad, more so than in Tobago. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. Your forecast maximum high yet again, 33 degrees Celsius. It's actually going to feel like if it's approaching 40 degrees, so pay attention to that heat when you're outside, and do like Rhea, have an umbrella on hand for tomorrow just in case, right? Or find a nice shady area to keep cool. And if you're heading to the beach to do so, well, hey, east-northeast to east-southeasterly winds, that's what you're going to be expecting, with wave heights approaching 2 meters in open waters, less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. And don't forget, spring tide is still very much in effect. So unfortunately, you have to continue to exercise caution when you're venturing offshore. And it comes in a good time, because tomorrow with full moon, it's a really good time to head out there and fish 3 days before the moon and 3 days after with the spring tide event. But other than that, it's still going to bring an abnormal high and low tide, so caution is a must.
You need to take a day off tomorrow.
I'm going to see if you're showing up to work tomorrow, Jesse. Let's see. Thank you so much, Sigoni. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news.
I just loved working with kids that were different. You know, I felt that it was something calling me.
A mother's journey inspires Trinidad's first sensory safari.
This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll truly appreciate every single day. Right now at Bright Ideas, we're bringing you massive deals across all locations. TVs from just $9.99. Twin tub washers from $13.99. In the kitchen, fridges from $42.99 and stoves from just $16.99. Coffee makers from $125. Kettles from just $99. Blackout curtains 2 for $100. Towels 4 for $100. Bed sheets from $50. Glass sets as low as $22.99 and much more. Up to 50% off on all the flowers mom will love. Don't wait till last minute. Come through and save. If it's not on special, it's 25% off. Lighting fixtures, bedding, mats, carpets, dinnerware, tableware, and much more. You're guaranteed to save. Visit any of our Bright Ideas locations nationwide today because mom deserves more.
Get a free pair of polarized sunglasses with the purchase of new Gen S Transitions lenses with anti-reflective coating and frames. Selected designer frames now just $4.99 with additional promotions. Hurry, limited time only at Seaview Optical.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time, or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
With Alive multivitamins by Nature's Way, you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it. Discover how you can age vibrantly with Alive.
Broken! Ever since I started wearing hands-free glide step Skechers Sleep-ins, my other shoes are useless. With Skechers Sleep-ins, I just step in and they're on. Try Skechers Sleep-ins.
Super month-end savings is here, only at Passat's The Food King. Stock up and save more on Flavorite ice cream, 3.2 liters, 2 buckets, just $95. Fruta Cool Kids juice, 200 mls, 8 packs, just $20. Nutrimix premium flour, 10 kilograms, now $68. Halal minced beef, 2 pounds, only $50. Swiss macaroni, 400 grams, 4 packs, just $20. Halal lamb leg slice, 3 pounds, just $100. Swirl detergent, 875 grams, 2 packs for $25. Plus more savings in store. Sale ends May 10th or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. The real Passats, we're here to stay. The Food King Passats.
Welcome back. Local carrier Caribbean Airlines will, in the coming weeks, roll out new restrictions that will affect the charging of devices while in the air. Under the new policy, passengers will only be allowed to bring up to 2 power banks on their flights. They should be within reach and not in the overhead cabins.
More importantly, passengers will no longer be allowed to charge their personal electronic devices using the power banks, nor will they be allowed to recharge the power banks. The new rules bring the local carrier in line with a March 27th decision by the International Civil Aviation Organization to regulate the use of power banks prompted by a series of lithium battery fires across the globe. American carriers Southwest and American Airlines have already introduced similar policies.
Well, jet ski owners and operators say their livelihoods is on the line. On April 23rd, the Tobago House of Assembly secured an emergency injunction banning all jet ski activities from Pigeon Point and the Bucco Reef Marine Park following the death of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi, who was struck by a jet ski. The matter will be heard virtually tomorrow at 2 p.m. before Justice Shulan Pear.
Jet ski owner Nadia Yeats of Aqua Paradise Water Sport told CNC3 News access to Pigeon Point Heritage Park is crucial to her business. She says since that access was cut off, business has plummeted and employees are in limbo.
We are all very hopeful that the injunction is lifted so operations can resume and we could use the Pigeon Point Heritage Park to get back our clientele so that we could build back our businesses, because the recent changes to jet ski operations have had a significant negative impact on my business and my colleagues.
Several owners say they understand the need for safety and are open to constructive dialogue to address the issue.
All right, well, sport is next. And Jassy, one former TT fighter is preaching the pros of pugilism.
Yeah, that's right. Nirmal Lorik. He's a former Trinidad and Tobago Olympian and freshly minted New York State Boxing Hall of Fame inductee. He has some words of advice. And with 42 days to go to the World Cup, FIFA opens its coffers to the 48 qualified teams. We'll explain after the break.
On Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th, bring your mothers, sisters, wives, and the entire family to the luxurious, specially decorated Cascadia Hotel Ballroom St. Anne's for this exceptional Mother's Day buffet lunch and show.
From 12 noon, come enjoy a sumptuous buffet lunch prepared by the world-class chefs, which include appetizers, desserts, cocktails, and more. Then, from 2 p.m.,
mothers will be serenaded by the Caribbean stars live. Wendell McBurney,
Patricia Smith,
and soca star Sanel Dempster.
You can't see it. It's electric. And the King Weston Rollins with love songs and gospel. Of the goodness of God. Early bird tickets available now at $500
at Cascadia Hotel St. Anne's, Crosby St. James, Cache Port of Spain, Michelle's Fashions Arima, Sona Jewelers, Chaguana San Pinal, Bellini's Truck Mart San Fernando, and online at islandetickets.com.
If you could see what the future holds, you'd see that while things change, you've still got it. You are strong, resilient, inspiring, and you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it because you were made for more. Discover how Alive multivitamins by Nature's Way help you age vibrantly.
Welcome back. It's time for sport now. A short while ago, Trinidad and Tobago swimmer Dylan Carter placed fourth in the men's freestyle final at the Speedo Fort Lauderdale Open. Carter qualified for the A final, clocking 49.07 seconds in the preliminary heats. That was the fourth fastest time overall, which gave him a great chance at the A podium finish in that final. However, in the final, it was Chris Giuliano who won in 48.43 seconds. Thomas Navikonis was second in 48.69. and Patrick Damon third in 48.76. Carter clocked 48.87 seconds, finishing fourth overall. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force head coach Riyad Emrit likes his team's prospects of reaching the Cricket West Indies Championship final despite having to go the route of a semi-final playoff against Barbados. Trinidad and Tobago ended their three-match series with the Leeward Islands with 1 win, 2 draws, and of course they missed out on top spot on the standings as well as automatic progression to the tournament final. A decision to shake hands late on day 4 of the third and final preliminary round match against the Leeward Islands at the Antigua Recreation Ground on Wednesday condemned the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force to back-to-back draws in the series with just 1 win. It placed them second on the standings with only the leaders advancing automatically to the final.
It is what it is. We have to play a semi-final and I think it's going to be a good game against the Barbados pride.
Whereas Trinidad and Tobago started with a big win and settled for 2 disappointing stalemates thereafter, Barbados is the team in form. A defeat to the Jamaica Scorpions in their opening match has been followed by a draw with first innings points and an outright win. But a week and a half downtime before that semi-final is played on May 10th at Coolidge in Antigua provides the ideal opportunity for the Red Force's mental reset.
I am satisfied. Batters, they've been scoring runs consistently, which is good. And I think the bowlers have done tremendously well. I can really ask for nothing more from our bowlers. And they deserve this rest. As I said, 190 overs on the field is a lot of overs. It will take a toll on them. They deserve this couple of days off.
Still, Emirates is giving the opponents full respect.
It is a very, very good cricket wicket at Coolidge. And, we know the Barbados team. They are going to come at us. But I think we have, in our team, we have the weapon. We have a very, very good combination. Spin, pace, whatever it is, we have that to cover.
Meanwhile, Emirates says star batsman Evan Lewis, who was unfortunately struck by balls in both matches, is fit for consideration for the crucial semi-final, while Jaden Seals, who sat out the last match under CWI's workload management policy, is also expected to be available again. Now, during the first innings of Trinidad and Tobago's just concluded CWI Championship clash with the Leewards in Antigua, TNT wicketkeeper, batsman and captain Joshua De Silva managed to get his 9th first-class 100, but also converted that into a double 100. De Silva was dismissed eventually for 220 runs as TNT piled up 522 for 9 declared. But along the way, the wicketkeeper batsman managed another impressive milestone. His final score now stands as the highest ever by a Trinidad and Tobago wicketkeeper at first-class level, surpassing Dinesh Ramdan's 166 not-out scored against England in 2009.
I was telling the boys, it's the longest I've ever batted in my life, and I could still feel the pain in my hands from batting for so long, but I guess it just shows the mental fitness and the physical fitness that I probably didn't even know I had or I could do. So, it's always good to bat for long periods and put lots of runs on the board.
De Silva owns 4 of the top 5 scores, and further inspection reveals that 8 of the top 10 also now belong to him. Coming from a country that has produced some talented glovesmen, he feels honored to continue carving out his own space.
I think my dad had checked it, but before that I wasn't sure of anything. I didn't know the highest score of a wicketkeeper or anything like that from Trinidad and Tobago. So, it's something I'm very proud of and didn't even know was a thing. So to have that record now it's always an honor to hold a record. I also hold the record in Test cricket for the most catches in an innings. I think I'm tied with 7. So, it's an honor and a privilege, and hopefully I could break it again someday.
And long may the records continue. Now, another fun fact, another talented part-time TNT wicketkeeper batsman, Amir Jangu, has 2 double hundreds to his name, including 203 not out against the Leeward Islands this season, but he did not keep wicket in those matches, owing, of course, to De Silva's presence. The Caribbean Premier League's draft rules were announced today, and with the first 3 picks at the May 15th draft event are set to go to the expansion franchise, the Jamaica Kingsmen. Under those rules, the Kingsmen's first 3 picks can only be Jamaicans, even if they are already retained by other teams. Those teams, however, cannot object to that selection. And while the other 6 franchises can retain 4 players ahead of the draft, if one of them is a Jamaican selected by the Kingsmen, then the franchise losing that player will be given an extra retention. The rules further state all 7 franchises must have 9 senior West Indians in their team, 5 overseas players and 3 breakout players. All-rounder Samuel Stewart scored 77 to lead the South Zone to a slim 11-run win over the North in the Vasher Foods TTCB North-South Under-17 Classic on Wednesday. South scored 262 for 9 in 50 overs at the National Cricket Centre in Balmain, where Stewart's 74 came off 74 deliveries. Aidan Bodo added 59, while in reply, North scored 251 for 9 from their 50 overs. Rayan Gooding scored 48 and Elijah Ashton contributed 42, but of course they were 11 runs short in the end. Former Trinidad and Tobago boxer and boxing coach Nirmal Lorik has been inducted into the New York State Boxing Hall of Fame. The Olympian, who represented Trinidad and Tobago at the 1984 Los Angeles Games and now lives in the United States, says boxing in the communities of New York has had tremendous impact and believe it can do the same in Trinidad and Tobago. Following his induction on April 19th, Lorik was a guest on our CNC3 Morning Shot on Thursday.
I'm thinking a lot of places, if you have like community service, places where they can go to the kids and have people volunteer to train them, teach them, I mean, it's a process, right? You got to know how to exercise, you got to know how to run, there's a lot to boxing than just, being a boxer and jump in the ring, Somebody has to teach you the basic, like a jab or right hand and, be consistently in your life, you know what I mean? It's got to be a daily routine.
Now, the list of inductees included 9 former fighters, such as former world champions Yuri Foreman, Julio Cesar Green, and Alicia the Empress Espinoza. Nirmal was one of 5 officials given the recognition during the ceremony at Howard Beach, Queens, New York. The Couva-born coach, who has worked with former world champions such as Shannon Briggs and Travis Sims, says boxing has historically been an attractive pathway for youth.
Every kid don't want to be involved in front of a computer, right? Their span of 30 minutes. So sometimes kids have issues. They want to hit something. So instead of hitting somebody in the street, they come in and hit the bag, or you have conversations with them. We conversate with them about everything, from home to school to if they have, some of them are single parent. If they can't make it to school, we find out. And
congratulations to him on his induction. Now, with 42 days left until the World Cup kicks off, here are some of the latest developments. The 48 member associations to qualify for this year's FIFA World Cup are in line to receive a monetary bump for preparations ahead of the tournament in North America. Increase to the resources, which will see a total of $871 million distributed. The breakdown sees an increase from 1.5 to 2.5 million US for preparations, 9 million US to 10 million for qualifying, and across the board subsidies for delegation costs and increased ticketing allocations totaling over $16 million US. FIFA says the windfall is due to the commercial success of its flagship men's tournament. The balance of revenues will continue to be redistributed back into global football for the benefit of and through all of FIFA's 211 member associations. Meanwhile, reflective of an expanded tournament from 32 to 48 teams with an extra knockout round at this year's edition, the FIFA Council confirmed that single yellow cards in the final competition will be cancelled after the group stage and then again after the quarterfinals. Also approved by the FIFA Council were 2 law changes related to players leaving the field of play in direct protest at a referee's decision and players covering their mouths when speaking to opponents in situations of confrontation. Now we end with the run out that wasn't but eventually was. Trying to squeeze some juice from the final over of their innings with just 1 wicket in hand, Royal Challengers Bangalore got into a terrible mix-up. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar managed to ground his bat to avoid being run out at the striker's end, only for the ball to ricochet down the pitch toward the non-striker, where Shubman Gill was a willing recipient and sprung into action. The run-out that wasn't, but then was, is tonight's Sport High. It for sport, guys.
Thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Spring is here and your garden's ready for a glow-up. The Vega Garden Center sale runs April 24th to May 3rd. Get 20% off all plants, soil, pots, and fertilizer at both our San Fernando and Grand Cooper branches every day, including weekends. Whether you're refreshing your balcony, revamping your yard, or creating a jungle indoors, we're talking bougainvillas, ZZ plants, calatheas, a wide variety of crotons, orchids, bromeliads, palms, herbs, ground cover, and more. The Vega Spring Sale. Let's grow something beautiful together. Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Welcome back. Founder of Autism United TT, Anisa Khan Mohammed, is calling for more teachers' aid in schools to support children on the autism spectrum, saying the current system is falling short.
She spoke on Monday during activities to mark Autism Awareness Month. She's urging businesses and the wider public to become more sensory-friendly and to better understand that autism varies from child to child. Khan Mohammed, a mother of an autistic child, says consistent support in schools remains a major challenge.
Right now, it is so difficult. I know there's been recent suspension on student aids for students, and I can tell you that throughout the years, my child has had a lot of different aids and a lot of situations which would have warranted the aids being reposted elsewhere. And that is a problem because when you lose an aid, a ministry aid or an OJT aid, first of all, there aren't many in the system, and when you do get one, it is difficult to keep them. So what I would really like to see going forward is more support for children in the area of education and providing aids for them in schools.
Education Minister Dr. Michael Darla told CNC3 News the Student Support Services Division is under review and will be upgraded to offer more assistance to struggling students.
Well, as autism awareness continues, one local mother is sharing her family's journey in a powerful way by creating a space where children of all abilities can thrive.
Inspired by her sister and son, she's opened the Sensory Safari, blending play with therapy and inclusion. Liana Maharaj and Gary Vincent take us inside.
This isn't your average play park. It's one designed to cater to the needs of neurodivergent and non-neurodivergent children.
It actually all started with my sister Oriette. And so from very young, I've been exposed to kids with different abilities.
And while she grew up supporting her sister who has autism, a new chapter began.
Many years later, I had my son in 2019. And a couple months later, we found out that he was blind.
It changed her perspective, but she began to see new possibilities, which led her to open the Sensory Safari in Cocorite.
I had been exposed to different resources and play areas abroad, and I said, okay, Trinidad needs this. This is where I'm living. This is where he's living. I need to be able to recreate this for not just him, but many others like him and my sister that need to be included. Even people that are not on the spectrum that think differently and still are missed and need to be reached. You know.
It's a sentiment that resonates with occupational therapist Dr. Tara Riley, who says sensory information is crucial for any child's development.
Everything in our environment, sounds, touch, taste, texture, all of them build our coordination, our social skills, our interest, so even our joint attention in tasks. And so a sensory-rich environment like this is just promoting those skills because you're giving kids access to multi-sensory input, which is going to give them lots of beneficial information that just helps boost all of their developmental areas.
and those sensory inputs are built into the different activities for children in the space.
On the swings, you're getting that vestibular input, which is going to give you information about where your head is in space and build your motor coordination. On the zip line, similarly, right? You zip all the way down and then crash. That gives lots of information to your bones and your joints, which then further promotes coordination. She has a calm and quiet area as well. And so in there, for the kids who maybe can't deal with the onslaught of input constantly, there's different kinds of input as well.
But it's not just coordination and confidence. Therapists say it also supports communication.
Movement and play really lends to language development and children being able to interact with their parents, with other pairs that come in. It's just a natural way of encouraging communication. Whether a child is intimidated or quote-unquote shy, this lends to a natural social communication setting because a child is able to communicate with their peers, let them know, take turns, turn-taking, that joint attention, that interaction.
It may feel like playing, but activities like these help children build their confidence, coordination, and communication skills that go beyond the play space. Liana Maharaj, CNC3 News.
She's definitely enjoying that. And with a nephew on the spectrum, I can definitely appreciate the value of spaces such as those. Yeah. All right, that's a great way to end our 7 p.m. newscast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Jesse Ramdew.
I am Jassy Marik.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed. Have a good night.